How do you know whether or not a program is good for getting leaner or building muscle? Watch this.
All right. Next caller is Matt from Virginia.
What's up, Matt? How can we help you?
Hey guys, how's it going?
Good, man.
All right.
Good. Thanks for taking my question. Thanks for everything you guys do to teach and train. It's been a lot of fun learning from you guys. So I picked up the RGB bundle a couple months ago. Really decided to do it. My question is, I just finished Anabolic, had a great time with it, but I'm wondering if I made a massive mistake or wasted my time by pretty much running the whole thing on a caloric deficit. I lifted a lot when I was younger, but I'm just getting back into it now. I had a lot of fun doing the program, but my goal was, in my head, it was just to lose weight. And I lost weight. I lost 14 pounds. 9 of it was fat. 5 of it was muscle. I thought that was kind of just the name of the game. And I was really looking forward to move on to performance. It looked really, really cool, really fun. But I'm wondering if I need to run the whole thing back with Anabolic again on more of a bulk, more of a surplus. Anyway, so I want to get your advice on how to proceed. And then a second part of the question is kind of a mental thing of how do you guys deal with training frustration when you feel like you've been working and doing stuff and you're like, okay, did I just waste my time by doing the wrong thing for a while? Like I've been doing my chest exercises all wrong, working my triceps rather than working my chest, which is something I learned from you guys as well. So those two things, how to proceed, how do you deal with frustration?
Okay, so generally speaking, all strength training based programs are designed to build muscle. Okay, bottom line. Now there's different ways to do it. There's different types of programming. There's different types of strength that you may be focused on, what's like powerlifting or more bodybuilding style or more athletic type training. But that's what strength training does, is it makes you stronger and builds muscle. Your diet is what determines whether or not you're trying to gain or you're trying to preserve while you burn body fat. So the reason why you strength train while you diet or get in a deficit is to try to keep the muscle, sometimes build, but very rarely, to keep the muscle while you get leaner. So did you waste your time? I mean, no. I mean, if your goal was to lose body fat, then that's what's happened. Now, if you lost muscle during that period of time, then I would look more at the calorie deficit than anything else. It might have been too much of a deficit. You might have gone too hard in the deficit, or it could have been something else like sleep or stress, or maybe the volume was too much or something like that. Now, second part about frustration, you mentioned something like I'm working my triceps more than my chest. Well, you just move forward. You're always going to learn as you continue to move along. In terms of like what you focus on or what your goals are, and am I really moving forward? One of the best things you could do, and this is actually more important the more advanced you get, is to change what you look at and what you're focusing on. I've been working out for 30 years. I can't always focus on strength. I'm not going to keep getting stronger forever. It's just not going to happen. So I don't look there most of the time. Other times I'm looking at things like movement and how I feel, maybe mobility, maybe control, stability, or just the enjoyment of the workout. So in order to continue to do this for the rest of your life, you're just going to have to change where you look, because you're not going to progress perpetually forever.
Matt, let me ask you about your cut. I want to know a little bit more detail so I could advise you on if I would have done it differently or I think you did just fine. Where were your calories at when you started the cut, and what'd you cut down to?
Yeah, so I started at 1,800 calories, and then I moved down to, I think, 1,550 is where I ended up going. And I didn't find your video on how long to do cuts until I was about done with it. So I was like, okay.
That's okay. I just wanted to know. Okay, so now let me explain what would have been different, right? So we could have, and like Sal said at the beginning, your goal was to lose body fat and drop down. You did that, and you did it at a higher ratio of fat than muscle. So overall, you didn't waste your time at all. But if I had you as a client and I knew that you were only eating around 1,800 to 2,000 calories as a man, and I know that you want to lose body fat. What I would have done first during anabolic would be to add calories and bulk you up. And so at the end of it, it might look more like this. Instead of you actually losing 14 pounds, we actually might have only stayed the same or maybe even gained 3 pounds on the scale, which at first you might go, oh, fuck, well, that's not my goal. I wanted to go down. You're a terrible coach and trainer. But if I did my job really well, I would have added a pound or two on the scale or kept you the same, but then you'd be eating like 25 to 2,700 calories. And now we'd be in this place where I could say, all right, Matt, you really want to lean out now? Let's drop that 2,500 calories. Let's drop it down to 2,400 calories and go on to MAPS Performance now, and let's see what happens. And what would end up happening is you would lean out as much or more. You probably would hold on to a little bit more muscle because you're at a higher calorie supporting and higher protein intake to support the muscle you have on your body. And you'd be eating more calories and you'd get just as lean, if not leaner, than what you currently did right now. So that's the difference. Now, had you answered that question as, Adam, I was already eating 3,000 calories, I cut down to 2,500 and this is the result you got, well, you're already at a pretty good amount of calories. I wouldn't have probably pushed you up anymore on that. So that would have been a fine decision. So we get asked this question all the time of, well, should I run your program in a cut or a bulk? It really comes down to the client and where their current metabolism is at on which direction I would shift. It has nothing to do with the program, like whether they're following anabolic or performance. It has everything to do with, if I'm getting you as a client, one, I want to know what your goal is, your ultimate goal is, and then I want to know where your current kind of state is, metabolism, where your calorie maintenance is. And then together we decide, is that a healthy amount of calories that you like to eat? Do you feel good on eating that? Or would you like to be able to eat more? And so based off of how you would answer me would dictate on how I would steer you through the bulk or cut process running any programs that we have.
Right. Now, and just to clarify, Matt, like you could bulk or cut on any strength training program. Mm-hmm. It's the diet that determines that. How tall are you and what's your body weight at?
Yeah, I'm 5'10", and now I'm 181.
Yeah, your calories were really low.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have cut you at 1,800 calories. That's for sure. You would have ended up with muscle loss. I mean, even especially if you were hitting protein targets, you didn't leave much room for carbs and fats.
What's cool though is that here's the thing though, and this is why you didn't waste any time. Now that we go into performance, now I would run it in a bulk. Now let's add calories. And then I would tell you to don't be worried if you put on a little bit of weight on the way, hopefully it's muscle, so you don't need to increase your calories dramatically. But our goal through performance should be, can I get you up every week or 2 weeks? Can I increase you by 100 to 200 calories so that at the end of the program, I've got you now eating like 2,500 plus calories and you haven't really put on any body fat. Maybe you put on a 1 or 2 pounds, but it's all muscle because we went on a bulk and a nice slow bulk. And at the end of performance, I've got you more muscular without any more body fat and eating more calories. That would be the goal of performance with you now, is to do that. That's what I'd like to do with you.
Yeah.
Cool. Great.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So do you know how to do a reverse diet, Matt?
I do not.
All right, I'm going to send you the reverse dieting guide because that's how that's how we should have you get into a bulk and get yourself up to I wouldn't start thinking about really doing a cut till you get to at least 25 to 2,700 calories.
Okay.
And I know I didn't touch on it. I know Sal touched on it, but just a little bit to get like the frustration with yourself. And so that, man, this is a lifelong journey. I've been doing this for over 20 something years. I'm still learning lessons the hard way.
Yeah.
So that's, you look at it as education, you know what I'm saying? And every time you follow a plan nutritionally and follow a program consistently, that's you putting in the work of educating yourself about your body, your nutrition, your exercise, like that. So it's always worth it. Even if you come out of it and you fucked, can't tell you how many times I went into a cut or a plan and then, 6-8 weeks later, I find out that I put myself in a worse shape from aesthetic position. I lost muscle and I gained that's so frustrating for a guy who's experienced, educated in this field, but it happens and that's part of the process. But I know now, that, oh wow, when I cut that aggressively and I push my body that much, I think because I'm doing all the work, I'm going to get better results, but I actually got worse results. And so it's a learning process. So, chalk it up as part of the game of getting wiser on how to build a routine program and nutrition plan for yourself. Don't get discouraged or frustrated by it.
Awesome. Thanks so much, guys. Really appreciate it.
All right, man.
Look, no matter what program you're following, if it's a strength training program, it's going to either build muscle or preserve muscle. Whether you cut or diet, that's up to the diet. It has nothing to do with or bulk. Whether you bulk or cut, it's all about the diet. It has nothing to do with the program. All programs that we have are for building strength, building muscle, or preserving in a calorie deficit.
So in a situation like that, how do you decide if you, like, let's say that this person, Matt, is a client of yours, and you're getting ready to start a program, which you know could be a cut or a bulk, doesn't matter. What makes you decide I want to bulk him or I want to cut him?
Yeah, well, the goal, where their calories are currently at.
Right.
Like he wanted to cut, that's the goal. Unfortunately, his calories were already so
He's
low,
already low.
that
Yeah.
I'm like, that's not a good idea. We go from 1,800 calories for
You
a
want
guy.
some room.
Yeah, like we're going to go down to 15. You're going to lose muscle. I don't care how great your strength training program is.
Right.
You're going to lose muscle. So it's the goal and where your calories are at. And if you don't have enough, if you're not high enough in the calories, a cut doesn't make a lot of sense. In fact, somebody who wants to lose weight, but if their calories are already low, we actually bulk them. We actually do what's called a reverse diet. So both those things are the factors that you want to consider. And then, of course, there's other stuff like how you feel and all that other stuff.
As a general rule for me, almost everybody, regardless if you're trying to bulk or lean out, I almost look to introduce calories and increase their metabolism. Rarely ever have I ever received anybody who's like, Adam, I need to lose 30 or 40 pounds of body fat, and immediately I go into a cut, because almost always they've kind of tried that on their own, yo-yo dieted, and they've already kind of slowed their metabolism down. So I almost
First nail they see is to just cut hard.
right. And that's typically what most people do. So when I see their calorie maintenance, what they're currently eating to maintain their 30 pounds overweight, and I go, oh wow, well that's not a place you want. If we got to cut, that means I got to cut you at least 300 to 500 calories from there. And now we're in a place 1,500 calories for a male. That's so low. You're not going to sustain that for the rest of your life. I know that. You need to be somewhere closer to 2,500 calories or more a day to feel satisfied and to be able to do this forever.
Right.